Are you ready to learn how to make a website with Squarespace? In our 2022 Squarespace tutorial for beginners, I'm going to show you all the features available to you with Squarespace. Squarespace is one of the easiest website builders and also one of the most powerful. If you want to follow along with the tutorial, I'll put our affiliate link down below in the description. If you end up signing up for a paid Squarespace plan, we may earn a commission, but at no extra cost to you. Now let's start building our website. Here's what it looks like if you use our link or just go to squarespace.com. One thing I want to show you before we get into the tutorial are their different pricing tiers. So Squarespace doesn't have a free plan, but their paid plans are in line with their competitors. So to see the pricing, you want to scroll all the way to the bottom and click on pricing along the left-hand side. And here are the 4 options. So we're currently using the business plan right here, but let's take a look at some of the differences. So the personal plan, some of the things you'll miss out are 1 free year of professional email with Google Workspace that you get with the business plan and above. There are some additional integrations and blocks that you only get with the business plan and above. If you're going to be doing any custom CSS or JavaScript, you'll need this or above. Also, the advanced web analytics, you'll get $100 of Google Ads credits with the business plan and above. You can use the pop-ups and the banners, as well as have full access to their new video editing app. I haven't checked out the video editing app, so I don't know if that's valuable or not. And then you do have some access to e-commerce with the business plan, but just know there's going to be an additional $3 fee to any transaction if you update to commerce or the Commerce Advanced. You'll get additional functionality. Also, there won't be an additional transaction cost on top of whatever the payment processor such as Stripe or PayPal end up charging. And so some of the things that you get with commerce and above would be point of sale, customer accounts, checkout on your domain, e-commerce analytics, merchandising tool, connect your products on Instagram. With the advanced, you can get abandoned cart recovery, you can sell subscriptions, advanced shipping, advanced discounts, commerce APIs, etc. So if you're just building a website for your personal brand, I would say get started with the personal, unless there's something from the business that I went over that you want to use. If you're going to be selling a high volume of products and don't want to be paying the additional 3% transaction fee, then upgrade to one of the commerce plans. Okay, now let's just go back to the homepage. And on the pricing page or anywhere else, you can just click on Get Started to start building your website. So the first thing they're going to have you look at are the different templates. So you can see here, popular designs, all templates. There's art and design, photography, health and beauty, local business, fashion, professional services. There's a lot of options here to figure out what is the closest template to what you want your website to look like. The thing is, with the current version of Squarespace, you can choose any template and basically edit it to look like any of the other templates. So you don't have to feel like, hey, I chose a template and I can't change what my website looks like. You'll basically be able to edit everything and replicate other templates if you chose to completely change your website at some point in the future. So let's go and find an option we like. How about Grow Well Coaching? So you can see there's quite a few different designs here, but I was looking at this one earlier, and why don't we just start with the Grow Well? Also, you can preview the site as well. If you're like, hey, I'm not 100% sold, this is the right version, you can easily just go into the preview as well as to see a demo site. So let's just show you what that looks like. So here is the entire website full screen if you go into the demo version. You can either go back if you don't like this or just click on Start with this design. And then so here's where you're going to have to create an account. Obviously, we've created our website and a bunch of other websites using Squarespace. So I'm just going to log in here. Oops. Log in up in the top right. Setting things up. Okay, so let's give the website a name. So I think what we went through with the previous tutorial is JJ's Consulting. Let's just use the same name. Continue. And then so it'll walk you through. You can edit the pages, create pages, add style to your site. I'm going to walk you through all of that as well. So the main navigation for the different areas of building your website are on the left-hand side here. So you have pages, design, commerce, marketing, scheduling, analytics, profile, settings, and help. So we'll go through each one of these in order, starting first with pages. So this is going to be the home page. Just to kind of explain how this is set up, you have the main navigation, which are the pages that are going to show up at the top of the page in the header. So the thing is, if you don't want, you want to have one of these pages but don't want it in the header, you essentially have to drag it out of the main navigation. So if the press page, for example, I didn't want there, I could just drag it down to what are called the not linked section. So if I move it down here, the page still exists, but it's not going to show up on the top menu like it is right now. So that's one of the things. Also, all the pages are going to start out as demos. So if you end up clicking on it, then you can edit it. The demo is going to go away. If, for example, you don't want one of the pages, there's the trash along the side right here. Let's get rid of the programs page. Also, your logo or your name is going to be a link. And so the home page does not have to be in the menu. It's going to be linked right here. And if we scroll all the way down, you're going to see home right here. So this is going to be the home page. If anyone clicks on your name or logo, they're going to be taken back to the home page. So no need to have it up above. But I'm going to go through and just kind of clean up. There's all these pages that I don't think we necessarily need for today. Okay, so that's a little bit cleaner. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to first go through one page. I'll show you the functionality of editing the page, and then we're going to go through and add a couple of additional pages, a new kind of about us page or services page, a blog. And so let's go through that now. So the home page right now, one thing that's really important when building your website is to keep in mind what it's going to look like on a website, like what I'm using right now to edit the page, as well as what it's going to look like on a phone. So anytime you want to see a mobile preview, you can click on the phone icon right here and see what that's going to look like. To go back, just click on it again. So now let's start editing the home page. To edit any of the pages and to save them, you are going to click on the top right hand corner. So if I make some small change, and then here we can go to save and make sure that the changes are saved. If for whatever reason you made changes, you're not happy with it, you can also discard the changes as well. Discard and back to how it was a second ago. But we do want to edit this page, so click on edit. The first thing we're going to take a look at is the site header. So let's edit this. There are a couple of different options here. So you have the global settings, you have the desktop settings, and the mobile settings. The majority of the changes we're going to make here are with the global settings, but know that you have these options as well. First, let's start with the site title and logo. So there's the logo image in general, as well as the mobile image. If you just want to have the text like we have right now, you're welcome to just leave that. If you do want to add a logo, you can click the plus here, upload a file, or select from your library. If you've uploaded stuff previously, it's going to be here in the library. To upload something new, we're going to go with Fuchsia today. So you can choose the logo height as well as the mobile logo max height. So here we go. The max height, let's just go a little wide, little taller, something like that maybe. Okay, so that is the logo and title. Let's go back. Below that, we have elements. So with the elements, first you have a button, so you can turn this on and off like so. You can update the text, so sign up. If you wanted to change the page, you can do that like so. Let's get rid of the button. You have your social links. To edit the social links, just click here. And if we wanted to add one, we just need to add the URL. So let's just add our YouTube channel really quickly. There we have this, so we can copy here like so. Okay. Then we have YouTube. The other thing is you see the little dots along the side. If we want to change the order, so for example, if we want YouTube first, we can do that, then go back. We can change the icon size if we want. Also, if you have an e-commerce store, you can have the little card icon up at the top right corner. So anytime someone is on the website, they can go back to their shopping cart. We don't have that today. So let's now go back. The next thing we have is the style. So right now it's set at dynamic, which is essentially transparent like you see right now. So you could choose gradient, something like this. If we go click on this again, we could choose a solid color. We can also choose the theme is going to choose one of the theme colors from the website. We're going to look at the design and some of the themes, fonts, and colors and stuff a little bit later. But I could adjust this, so you could choose one of the bright options like so, but let's just go back to white. Okay, so we've got that. And then the next thing is the fixed position of your header. So if you don't have this on, it essentially when you scroll down the page, it's going to disappear. But if you choose fixed position, there's two options here. So you have basic, which means if you scroll down, that's always going to be there. Or you can have scroll back turned on. That means if you scroll down the page and you scroll beyond the header, you're not going to see it. But if you start to scroll back up, it will appear again. So I'll probably leave it like that. And then just to show you really quickly the options for desktop, you see the width, you can change the layout. So if you want these links to be alongside the logo, you can do that. You can move them along the right side. I would say I generally see it more like this, but there are a few layout options to choose from. And then for mobile, so header layout, overlay menu, sorry, I can't talk. And then you have the menu icons. You can see that that changes like so. All right, and then back. So that is the header. Let's move on to the actual page. So clicked off of that. So Squarespace is essentially set up where you have sections. So this piece right here is a section. You can add a section after or before it. You can add a section after it. You can see I'm hovered over the section below and you have these little arrows here. So let's just show you really quick. There's this section and this section below. So if I hit the down arrow, it's going to move this section up above now. Then within any of the sections, you have a couple of options. So if you scroll over something, you're going to see this little plus icon right here where you can add something new. So let's just show you that really quick. And then so you have all these basic options. So text, button, gallery, image, video, form, spacers. So spacers are important. If you want to create something and the layout isn't quite right. So for example, if I don't want this text to take up the whole page, I could add a spacer on either side, or it should be, there we go. So spacer here. And then so you can see it's only on this side now. If I wanted another one, so what we could do again is go to spacer. And so you see the little hand, you can then drag it. There, okay. Okay, so here now we have the text in the middle, and what we can do now if we want the spacer to be smaller. So Squarespace is set up into columns. So you can't just make this any width. You're going to see it snap from one size to another. So if we have the spacer that size here, and then let's just do the same thing. Something like that maybe. So we have a little bit narrower for this particular text right now. If we want to then edit something like this, so let's say we want to say take your and spell correctly, please. Something like, okay, so something like that potentially. If I want to edit this, so I could create a link out of this. If I wanted to change this to align right instead of centered, I can do that. Here's some of the options as far as strike through, number list, bulleted list. We can make this bold. We can make it italic. We can change the color. So you have your color palette right here, or you can choose a custom color. I think white works for right now. Okay, and then so the button, you're going to see the same thing. If you click on edit, you have the text and you have the link. So sign up, and then you can change this link. So if we go to settings, so a page is a page from your website. If it's web address, it's an external page, file, email, phone number, etc. that you can change it to. So if you just click on this, you're going to get a list, or you can start typing to find the particular site, the particular page on your website you're looking for. If you want something to open in a new window, so generally this is for external links, not for internal links, you'll turn this on and then save. Okay, so we have that set up. I think, say this home section is good right now. Another piece, if you click on edit in the right-hand corner like this, that's where you're going to go about actually changing some of this section. So I'll show you the options. So you have the format, so section height. So if you want to make this smaller, you can do that. You can change the content width, so it's set for medium. If you change it to large, the spaces are there, it just moved everything out further, or you can make it small like I just did. You can change the content alignment. You can change the background. So you can have an image, video, or art. So art, you can have stuff crazy move around, and then you have different. I probably wouldn't use this. Or if you just want colors, then you can just choose something like this, and then background, none. Okay, so that is fine for now. Okay, so now if we wanted to add a new section, we're like, hey, we're good with this. Let's add something in between. Click on add section here. So you have a bunch of options here. The headlines is generally what you'd put at the top of the page. So that's what these would be. Then you have list, gallery, images, quotes. So if you had customer testimonials, maybe you want to use something like this. Text, video, appointments, contact, donation, form, newsletter, products, calendar chart. So there's a bunch of options here. Let's add a video. So there's a few options within any of these. So do you want this setup? Do you want the video on the right, on the left? Do you want two videos? Let's go with this one. And so you're going to see you get these little plus icons. You have a spacer. You can edit any of this. If we click on the video and then here, then we get the link for the video. So let's delete this. Let's add a new one. One thing you point out, you don't see the video right now because there's a custom thumbnail. So if you have a different image you want, as opposed to whatever thumbnail from the video software or the video hosting you're using, you can add that here or just turn it off. And then you have the normal thumbnail from that video like so. So there is that. Again, any of this stuff you can just click on and edit. So for example, if this were the 4 services you had, you may want to say something like YouTube coaching. And then you have like a line or two about it here. And then maybe you want to create a link where you have a more detailed page about, so let's go to page. So this could be then your YouTube coaching page. So whatever classes for now, because we don't have that page. So we can create a link in here to something else on our website there like that. And then, so let's say we're good with that. Again, if you want to add any sections, if you want to say, hey, this section, let's get rid of it. This one too. And then any of these backgrounds, one thing to keep in mind, so there's this little dot in your image. And so this is, depending on how wide the site is, where the center of it wants to be. So right now, if we go to the mobile, you're going to see it looks something like this. If for some reason the mobile version you don't like, what you can do is you can edit this. So if you wanted to move it over a little bit more, and then go to mobile, and you can see now she's more in the center as opposed to one side. And then go back to desktop. And then here down below, you can see the footer. So this is going to be the same as the header. This is something that's going to show up on all of the pages. So if you want somebody to the bottom of the page and have links that are ready or easily accessible. So you see programs, press, and contact. So the contact us, for example, is something you see in the footer quite often. If the social links aren't there already, you could click on plus and social links. So you could add this if they weren't already in the footer of whatever form you had. This is just text. So if we wanted to just have contact, for example, we could do that. This is just text. Okay. If I wanted this to be text, but I want it to be the same color, this is a little bit hard to find in the footer right now. Okay, so here we go. So we could scroll somewhere in here. So that's close to what we had. So we could use that right here. So if you wanted something really important for people to reach the bottom of the page, is like, hey, sign up for a one-on-one session, you could add the text there. So that's essentially the footer. Just know that's going to show up on all of the pages. So that's the editing of the homepage. If you're done, if you don't like it, you can discard. Let's just save it for now. I know the color scheme isn't the best, but that's what we have. Okay, so that's that. Now, if we want to add a new page, what we can do is, depending on where you click on the plus, so this is going to add something to the main navigation. If you want it to be not linked, you can click here, but don't worry, if we create something up here, we can always drag it down to the bottom. So what do we want to create today? Let's just create a, let's see, page layout. So what do we have? So here, the same thing to adding a section to your website. You have a bunch of options. So you have general, appointments, about, contact, services, members area. Let's do something for services. So maybe this one. Okay, so we have services. And for any of these, as well as the home, if you hover over it, you have this little settings wheel. And so you can change the title, our services, same thing. And then obviously we don't want this to be services 5, so just services. Okay, so that's that. And then there's a few other options. If we go into SEO, you can add a longer SEO title as well as a description. So this is what someone would see on the within search results. So you can see here, the title is here, the description is down below in search results. Okay, so then you have the social image. So if someone shares this link on social media, you'll have the title, the description, and if you want an image included, you can add that right here. In advance, you can add any page header code right here. Okay, so that is for that page. You can do that for your home for any other pages as well. If you're okay with that, then click on save. Again, all this stuff, you can go and edit the text. So this is already laid out for you. So you have all of these different sections. So you're going to edit those along the right-hand side here. So YouTube coaching. Again, we could change that here. Edit the description if we wanted. And you can see that that updates. If we did not want to have 4 sections, let's just delete that one. If you want to change the order, you can move those around right here. If you see that our services is along the left right here, you can edit that. You can change the alignment to center if you want. Okay, so that's adding just kind of a normal page, the about us, services, things like that. And if you're done, click on save. Now what I wanted to show you are 2 other pages I think are important. The first would be a contact form. So there's already one in this template. Again, if you went to add new page, you may see that you can just add one if it's not in the template you chose. Okay, this form needs a storage option. So this is what I was going to show you. If you want to add a contact you form, there's some important parts to it. Okay, so first we need to edit the page. So edit the form. First of all, here's the form name, the button text, form fields, post submit. What do you want to happen to get a message saying thank you? Do you want to redirect to some other thank you page? You can do that here. The design, so the button alignment, you can change the alignment within this box. Lightbox means that it's going to pop up. If you want the entire form right here, you would turn that off. And then what we saw the error for a second ago was the storage option. Okay, so what they were giving us the error for when we first got to this page is that we have nothing set up to store the contact information or the message after someone signs up. So the easiest thing is just have it send whatever information was collected to your email. So we'll do that first. So we can do that. And then if someone signs up here, it's just going to send us all of the information from the form. If this were something of signing up for your email list, let's say, you may want to connect MailChimp or the email marketing software you use. You can have it just add them to a Google Drive spreadsheet as well, or to Zapier. What we would do if it's for email marketing is we use ConvertKit. We would use a ConvertKit form that automatically connects with our email marketing software, as opposed to using Squarespace's form and then have to connect that to your email marketing. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, let me know down below in the comments. So anyways, that is the form. It's going to email us. We're good to go with that. The next thing I want to show you, obviously you can update your phone number and email as well. Save. The next page I want to show you, which can go in the navigation, is a blog. So again, with all of them, there are a couple of different layouts. So maybe, all right, so maybe this one that puts one article after another on the main blog page. Change that to blog. So again, for the main blog page, you can go to, oops, not the plus. That's not what I wanted. Exit edit mode. Okay, so the settings for the blog. So you can see here, the title, the navigation title, the URL slug. So you can update all of that if you wanted. Close. Now let's get into the article. So there's going to be some demo articles. I would just recommend going through and deleting all of those. And then let's just do this right this time instead of on accident. Okay. So now there's no articles. To create a new one, just click on the plus. And here we go. Okay, now let's add a title. My first amazing blog post. So this is going to be the title of it. Okay, so we can start writing our blog here. If we want to add sections to it and we want to change the formatting, here, let's actually add a line below. And so if we wanted this to be something other than the paragraph text, so this could be a heading 2, and then each of the sections as we go through the page, you can break up into sections like I just did. If you want to add something, so again, click on the plus, you can add images, galleries, whatever you want to the blog like so. And so if that is your amazing first blog post and you're done with it, so you can go down to save, you can schedule the blog post. So if we click on that, you can pick when you want to schedule it, or you could just publish it right now. Let's say, don't ask me again. We're going to update this URL in a little bit as well. So there's that. And then, so if we were to go to just the main blog page, which you're going to see, so there's been no image added yet. So if we want to go to settings, okay, so here we can add an image for it. What do we want to do? I imagine I have a YouTube monetization. Okay, so I have this image. So I could use this for the featured image for the blog post. All right, there's that. And then if you want to change the URL, you can have different authors as well. So we'll get into that in the, giving other people access to your website. In the options here, so status, tags, categories, turn on or off comments. If you want this to be a featured post. In the SEO again, SEO title and description. Social image, so the image that I added earlier is going to show up here unless you want something different to show up. Share, location. Okay, so that I think we're good. Let's save that. You can see now there's an image. So for each of the blog posts as we go through are going to be displayed like so. Okay, we got a blog, we have contact, we have services. That, let's say, is good for building the pages of your website if you're good with that. Okay, after pages, then you can go to design. The first thing we're going to talk about are the styles. So this is the overall look and feel of your website. The first thing are the fonts. So they have different font pairs that are something easy that you don't have to think about, are things that look good together. So here are mixed options. You have sans serif options as well. And you have, so work sans is what we use. How about that? Okay. So if that you're good with, let's go back. There's the fonts, the base size, so you can increase or decrease that if you want. And then here, if you want to change something, so if the headings you want to be work sans, but the paragraphs you want to be something else, so we could say browse all fonts. So you can see there are lots. So let's say open sans we want for just general text. Okay, good. Again, the weight, style, some other options here that we don't need to get into. Okay, so you can see now that that's updated there. And if we go back again, then we have the color. Here is the general theme, the different colors of the palette. If you click on palette, what you're going to see is there's a bunch of general presets. So you can just let them handle all of the changes. So let's see, let's get out of here. So if we save this, we don't have to look here. Let's just go to the home page, and then so we have something different to look at. And I think we'll see more changes as we go through it. Okay, back to design. Site styles, colors. Okay, so now we're going to see stuff update. Edit palette. And so let's see what this one looks like. So again, so you're going to see the light pink that you have here. So you can do that, or from an image, from color, or you can just go through and click on every one of these. So this is pure black. If you wanted to be a dark blue, you could do something like that. So you can edit the individual ones once you chose a preset, or just go through and create each one of these individually if you already have something of your own. Okay, so that is the colors. What's next? Then animation. So these are just small animations as you're scrolling through the page. How do different pieces kind of move in and out of the screen? I generally don't use this, but feel free to play around and see how these look. Then we have spacing, so page width and site margin you can change if you'd like. Then the buttons. So let's see, here's a button. Okay, so what you're gonna see here, we have it right now as in solid. We could change that to outline, so you can see it's looks like this unless you mouse over it, and then the shape is square right now. Rounded gives slight rounded corners, and then if you go to pill, it looks like there's kind of half circles at each size. And then the padding is how much room is going to be around the text. So the bigger it is, the more space around the text, then the bigger the button is going to be. Let's go back to rounded. Okay, so there we have buttons. And then you can adjust there's a whole bunch of options for image blocks. That is the majority of the design site styles. The next thing is the browser icon. So what you can see right now, this is the normal favicon for Squarespace. If you want your own, really easy to do. I created the one that you're gonna see in a second using, what's it called? Using Canva, really easy to do. Where did you go? There we go. So you're gonna see this update at some point. All right, so after the browser icon, if there's a lock screen, you can, if you have a lock screen, so something where someone would need to enter a password, you can change how that's gonna look. The checkout page, you can adjust and customize as well. So the site logo, background color, title color, etc., you can change here. 404 page. So if anyone goes to a page that doesn't exist, they're going to get whatever the 404 is. So you can create something creative. There's a bunch of examples of different creative 404 pages when someone accidentally goes to a page that doesn't exist. Access denied, social sharing, custom CSS. So if you know how to do your own, if you know how to use CSS and want to create something on your own, feel free to do that here. Okay, so that is all there is within design. Then commerce, we're not going to go through a ton of detail on how to sell using Squarespace. If you want to learn more about that, we have a video that I'll link to up above right here. Okay, so you can see just really quickly, orders, inventory, customers, discounts. You can manage all of that right here. Moving on from commerce, you have marketing. So for some of this, again, no, the personal plan, you won't get access to a lot of this. So there's email campaigns. I have not used Squarespace's email. Like I said earlier, we use ConvertKit, but this is an option if you're interested. Profile, so this is going to be the names of people saved and keeping track of them within your Squarespace account. You have SEO right here. So what you're going to want to do, your Google search keywords. So first you probably want Google Analytics. Then you can connect Google Search Console, which will give you access to what people search for when they come across your website. Back to marketing. Location management. So if you have physical locations, you can adjust that here. Now let's talk about the pop-up. So if you want people to sign up, again, we use this with our email marketing software. You can do that here as well though. So if you want a newsletter sign up, that's what it is right now. If you wanted to change that to just click a button, because let's say you want to send someone to a specific page on your website, go here. And then so you can obviously adjust this not for a mailing list of like, hey, we have a new product, go check it out. So those are the pop-ups. So you have action, the content, and then the display and timing. So here you can choose on a timer, show on scroll, or a time and scroll. So I have to do both. The frequency, do you want it to be, hey, they saw it in 30 days, show it to them again the next day, next week. That's the pop-up. The next piece is the announcement bar. So if we turn this on, it's going to add a bar along the top here. Check out our new products. And then this is going to be a link. So you choose here a page of your website that you may want to send people to. Let's cancel and go back. And there's a few other things. So Instagram Stories is a design platform that Squarespace has called Unfold. I haven't spent a lot of time using it yet. Products on Instagram. So this is important. If you want to sell using Squarespace and use your Instagram, there's a whole process for setting this up, but know that you need to be on a commerce plan to do that. You have your Facebook pixel. So if you run ads to these pages, you'll want to add your pixel. Pinterest save. So if you have pages or images that you want people to save to Pinterest, add that here. One nice thing, if you're on a business plan or up above, you can get a free $100 to use on Google Ads that you'll get here if you have already upgraded. So that is the marketing. And then the next is scheduling. So Squarespace, I think they purchased the company, I believe it's called Acuity. I think that's what the name was. So if you have a business where you have appointments and people will sign up and pay for an appointment, if you're a physical therapist, a nutritionist or something, you want to easily be able to sell your services and schedule an appointment at the same time. This is worth checking out. Although after the 14-day free trial, it's going to be $15 per month. If you want me to do a tutorial video of how this works, write scheduling down below in the comments. Okay, then we have analytics. So here, if you're selling, so sales, your traffic, the geography, sales by product, purchase funnel, abandoned cart, traffic sources, search keywords. So this is stuff the traffic sources you'll know, is it from Pinterest or Google search or from running ads? It's going to show you here the search keywords with Google Search Console. And then so you have site content activity log, some other stuff down here as well. And then below analytics, so profile. So this is, again, if you're collecting emails or selling, you'll have access to that information under the profiles. And then now let's go through all of the settings. So first thing, site availability. So it's on private right now, which only the admins are going to have access to it. If, for example, I wanted to send it to my colleague, a friend who doesn't have admin privileges, I can just add a password. To go to public, I need to pay to upgrade and then publish the site. Okay, and then save if I want to change to password protected. I don't need to save that. And then if there's a members area, okay. Language and region. So if you want to change that, your business information. So for example, your physical location information, your hours, you can add that here. Social links. So this is another place. Obviously we added this earlier in the video when we edited the header, but this is basically the same thing here. Connected account. So you can connect different social channels that give you certain things. I don't think that that's all that important. Extensions. So if you don't find what you're looking for within Squarespace itself, they have a bunch of plugins. So your accounting software, different shipping platforms, Printful, there's a whole bunch of options here that you can add to your Squarespace site. And then permission. So here, if you want to add a contributor, so let me just show you this really quick. So there's a couple, so it could be admin, just billing, website editor, analytics, comment moderator, viewer. There's a bunch of different levels that you can give to a contributor. Then domain. So right now there's only the free domain that Squarespace is giving me, which is something.squarespace.com. They give you something ridiculous when you sign up. So if you go into this JJ Consulting Co. And then if I go to rename, confirm, then this URL is going to update to JJ Consulting Co. Squarespace.com. And then let's go all the way back to settings to where we were. Okay, so domains. So that's the one as you're building your site, something that's a little bit easier. Then it's adding a custom domain. So you can do this with Squarespace. If you pay for one of the Squarespace plans, they'll give you a free year, but generally their domains start out at $20 a year. So year 2, 3, 4, 5 is going to be $20 or more. There are a lot of cheaper places for purchasing your domain. We have a whole video walking through the different options. I'll link to that up above right here. So after that, after you have the domain, you can use a domain I own, and it'll walk you through all of the steps for setting it up. I'll also put an article about it down below in the description. So back to settings. Then Google Workspace. So if you're on the business plan or above and you have a domain connected, you can get 1 year free for one email using Google Workspace. It's what we end up using for all of our emails. So if you need a business email, that's worth checking out and getting the first year free. The pricing is the same here, or if you get it directly from Google. Then you have the billing. So if you want to, when you're ready to upgrade your website, you're going to do that here. So the subscription, you'll have payment information and invoices you can always access here. Mobile information bar. So there's, you can add a mobile information bar here. So things such as, where did it say? Your email address, phone number, hours that are easily accessible on a phone. Cookies and visitor data, so you can turn on a cookie banner, disable Squarespace analytic cookies, your activity log. Then blogging, let's see what options there are. So it's essentially wants to know what you want the title of the article to be, the overall comment setting, enable comments globally. You can turn that on right here. Then lastly, the advanced features. So here are a bunch of the API keys, code injection. So if you need to add code to the header of different pages of your website or to the footer, you can do that right here. Then you have URL maps. So if you need to redirect or do things like that, they're a bit more advanced. You can do that here. You can see that there is an SSL security certificate that's already active. Let's see, menu shortcuts, text editor, some other stuff that you're probably never going to need. Then if you need any help, Squarespace has a bunch of amazing help articles. You can view those by clicking help right here. So I'm not 100% sure when the favicon actually got updated, but as you can see in the top left-hand corner of the screen, that's what it's going to look like when you add a custom favicon. So that's our 2022 Squarespace tutorial for beginners. If you want to start growing your email list, we have a video walking you through step-by-step how to do that. I'll link that video up above right here. If you want to learn how to create and sell an online course, check out the video below. Hope to see you in those and future videos. Bye.